What's up, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Gonna be going over the last little bit of stuff from Summer League. Obviously, the Sixers are out. Warriors win it all. Not too surprising. The Sixers roster really didn't have too much to offer outside of LeBaron Philon Jr. A couple of surprise performances here and there, one-game wonders. A couple other guys that averaged a little bit more points than we would have thought that maybe deserve a little bit of a run. We'll get into all that and more. But first, if you're new here, please like, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for hanging with me again. We've been pumping out a lot of Summer League content. Took the last couple days off because there really wasn't too much to talk about, but I figure we'll go ahead and we'll wrap everything up here today. Maybe even get into a little bit of LeBron James news at the end if there is any. I appreciate all your support. Let's get right into the video. So did a little digging. Obviously at the top of the list, you got LeBaron Philon Jr., 32 minutes a game, 18.5 points a game, 7.3 field goals made to 19 attempted, only a 38% from the field. Not great, but a little bit of up and down performances, better in his first couple games than he was in his last two. Also a night shooting 1 from 12 from 3 didn't really help that too much either. Also speaking on threes, 2 threes made per night, 7.8 attempted per night, a 25% three-point clip. Again, had an awful night from 3, started really hot early on and then just kind of fell off as time went on. He's going to have to work on his efficiency. He chucked a lot of bad shots in that game and it really brought all his numbers down. So they're not quite as bad as they seem, but definitely going to have to work on his efficiency. 62% at the free throw line. Again, we're going to want to see better there. I expect better out of him. 5.8 assists, 1.5 steals per game, and 2.5 turnovers per game. All in all, it really wasn't as bad as it seems. They held him out of the last game. I'm still not really sure why. I was waiting for news on that. Didn't really see anything. I would have liked to have seen him in that last game. I would have liked to have seen him in every single game. I'm glad they played him as many minutes as they did. He needed as much of it as possible. I think that, six man is going to be a tough ask for someone like him right now. I think he needs a little bit more time just to get comfortable with the speed, the way the game works, stuff like that. I think the numbers will change a little bit playing with better NBA players as well, but his efficiency's got to be a lot better. Dante Maddox Jr. was a pretty pleasant surprise. 15.6 points per game, 39% from the field, 35% from 3, 84% from the free throw line, 3.6 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1 steal per game, 2 turnovers per game. Definitely going to be worth a look. I talked a little bit about him in another video, so I won't get too much into it here. Played a pretty good role, especially down the stretch when Philon wasn't hitting at points. He came in and just kind of locked things down, slowed things down, had some big moments, especially in the Rockets game. Even though these are blowouts, it's important to see how players are going to react, and with the score being that low, seeing guys hustle, fight, it was really impressive. He shot a lot of threes, so that's kind of why his field goal percentage is down, but all in all, he wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun watching him, and I expect him to get a two-way contract. If he doesn't, he's going to land somewhere else, and I think with time, he'll definitely be a decent role player in the NBA. Johni Broome, these stats are a little inflated. Obviously, I'm not his biggest fan. You've seen a lot of the issues in later games with him. He had 2 really good games off the bat, and then wasn't much after that. So he had 27 minutes a game, played in 3 games, 14.7 points per game, 45% from the field, 13% from 3, 25% from the free throw line. That pretty much tells you right there why he can't be an NBA player. 9 rebounds per game, but obviously was playing against much smaller guys, nowhere near what he would play against in the NBA, and 1.7 assists per game, 1 steal, 1 block per game. He's not going to make the team. I would be surprised if they didn't just cut him outright or trade him, maybe him in a second, just to get off the contract. He's not going to make the team. If they keep him in a roster spot, I'm going to be really disappointed because it's not like he's going to grow 3-4 inches. It's not like he's suddenly going to become a 3-point shooter or a better rebounder. He's just not good enough. And in the summer league, he'll put up numbers because he's playing against smaller guys, but I don't want to see him on my team anymore. I've seen enough, and hopefully the team has as well. Lyles came out and gave you almost 10 points per game, 51% from the field, 27% from 3, 87% free throw percentage, gave you 3 rebounds a game and assist a game, just under a block and a steal a game. He was pretty solid all in all. Nothing really stuck out. I don't think there was one game that really stuck out more than the others. Just a good hustle player, another guy that I would like to see more than Broome have a chance to grow and maybe get a two-way spot. Don't think we're really going to have the space for him. Doesn't really make sense with the guys that we already have and what we need, but definitely a good showing from him in this summer league for him. And then a lot of these other guys guys, they just had hit or miss games. Nobody really did too much. Isaac Johnson had one big game, really bumped up all of his numbers because of that one game. For a big guy, he just didn't rebound good enough for me. He had one really, really solid performance from 3-point range that made you think maybe he could be a stretch big. I just think there's a lot of issues with him. Maybe in a couple years he can be a backup or a role player, but I don't think he's really going to make too much noise on this team either. Nothing else really stuck out. I think Townsend and Rogers both shooting 50% from three was pretty awesome. I would have liked to have seen them get more than, 2.3 attempts and 1 attempt per game. Maybe that's just the kind of players they are, but would have liked to have seen them build on stuff like that a little bit more. But all in all, this was really about LeBaron Philon, and I think we got everything we needed out of it. Was it as good as we hoped for? Not so much. In the beginning, it was exactly what we thought we needed, but by the end of the 5-game stretch, especially with him missing the 5th game, you kind of saw he still has blemishes to his game. He still puts up shots that he probably shouldn't. On a bench role where he's not the number one option, all of these things are going to change as long as he continues with the basketball IQ, the knowledge he has, the shot selection will get better. He's going to be a pretty good player for us. He just needs a little bit more time. Had a couple bad games, and I expect him to completely recover from this. And by the end of the season, I expect him to be in that 6-man role. I would really, really like to see him be the first one to come onto the floor, hopefully. But all in all, by the end of the year, I'd really like to see him in that 6-man role. You want to see him coming off the floor first with Maxey and VJ. You want to see what he has with those guys, because I think his basketball IQ, his assisting, his handles overall, he's definitely going to be a weapon in the NBA. The fact that he fell to 22 is pretty surprising. We are seeing some of the reasons why he might have fell, but again, put better teammates around him. I don't think he's going to have much of a problem. Defense was my biggest concern coming into this year, and through every game, the one thing that I could honestly say about him is he has hustle on the defensive end of the court. He never was getting really caught on screens. He was always in front of his guy, putting up a fight, and even when he did get beat, he was still fighting to the very end. He wasn't fouling too much. He wasn't making dumb mistakes. So defensively was kind of my biggest thing for him at his size. How is he going to defend? And I think he answered all the questions there. So he'll definitely have a spot on the team early, but I don't think he'll be the first guard to come off the bench when the season starts. All in all, with or without LeBron James, pending his decision, the Sixers still have an amazing top end to their roster. Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. You've got Dean Wade, who can play the 4 spot, the 3 spot, good defender, knocks down his 3-point shots. If Joel Embiid can stay healthy, obviously one of the best centers to ever play the game. I don't know how many games he's seriously going to give you this year. I do have questions about Bona and Ariel. Just, can both of those guys get in? Can they really hold the fort down when Joel's not here? How are they going to play next to Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe? It would really be a shame if our guards and our wings are all fantastic this year and center ends up being the thing that holds this team back. There are options out there. Everybody's kind of waiting for LeBron to make a decision on where he's going to go. I imagine Mike Gansey has more trade opportunities available, more stuff that he could pull out, but without cutting anybody right now, we don't have a lot of roster space or cap flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see what we do moving forward. Again, I have faith in the top end talent. Tyrese can score 30. We know Jaylen can score 30. VJ Edgecombe is just getting better. He's been showing all summer that he's been working. He's gotten bigger, stronger, just as fast as he was last year. I want to see better shot IQ from VJ, and he'll take an enormous leap this year. And Dean Wade's a guy I'm excited for as well. I'm just happy to see a 4 that can actually stretch the floor, and it'll just boil down to whether or not Joel Embiid can actually stay on the court or not, because if Joel's on the floor, Dean Wade, his impact is going to be so much bigger than if Joel isn't on the floor. I'm not saying that he's not going to have good games without Joel around, but that's kind of a piece that you bring in that fits perfectly with Joel. We've been asking for years, someone who could defend inside, outside, rebound, shoot threes, and Dean can do all of those things. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I might be back later depending on the LeBron situation. We might do a little live stream later tonight. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Sorry for the couple days just hanging out with the family, birthday stuff. But again, I appreciate y'all so much. I love you. Thanks for coming in. Like the video if you haven't already. Hit that bell so you don't miss any of our content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.